consider what happened, for example, at Bud Light. I mean, we're coming up on what, a 1-year anniversary of this ordeal? It was in April, early April. So a little beyond that. But I mean, if I look at the stock price, and Drew, do you have the stock price? Because if you look at the stock price, Rob actually sent this over to me at 76 Research, 76research.com. By the way, make sure that you subscribe to that channel. That's my other channel at 76 Research, and go to the website, which is 76research.com. Sign up for the 76 report. Just go to 76report2.com. It might be easier. But take a look here. This is Anheuser-Busch. And I told you around the time, actually, Rob bought shares of Molson Coors. That's in red, which went up as Anheuser-Busch went down. And then he sold them, actually, just as the company was doing quite well. And I was like, wow, you're saying, and he's like, yeah, like made enough profit. Like, there you go, because he anticipated that they would kind of equalize at some point, which they sort of have, except that if I look basically at 424 right through now, look at the plunge in shares of Bud. This is the overall company. We're talking AB InBev, merger of a Brazilian beer company and a Belgian beer company. So big European, big Brazil. They took the American name, Anheuser-Busch Bud, right? Because ticker symbol Bud, why not? Budweiser is iconic. Anyway, they own a ton of brands and they're struggling. They're struggling overall. Look at the S&P 500. Okay, the S&P 500 has been on fire, and you compare and contrast that to where these beer stocks have been. And I think it's just very challenged. Clearly the sector is challenged because you look at the downside, for example, in a stock like Molson, but specifically when it comes to Bud, I mean, a year later, they still can't shake it, right? They can't shake it. And management is trying. They keep coming up with new commercials and new ideas. And the latest thing is to roll out effectively a kind of PR campaign where they're trying to make you feel bad, because it's true. I mean, it's people's jobs. I get it. And it's not fair. I get it. But maybe this is the wake-up call some of corporate America really needs to shake the woke capitalism and to be grounded in something that's really true to capitalism and to their own values as a company. Instead of having Dylan Mulvaney with Dylan's infamous recording, remember, we won't play it long, but just check it out. I'm going to jog your memory.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us.
Oh boy. Wouldn't they love to forget that? The problem is the woman who ran marketing, Harvard Business School, she clearly was thinking too much, all right? Living in New York City too long, I don't know. But Alyssa Heinerschneid went onto a podcast just days before and explained how they needed to shake it up. They needed something new. They needed to change and get away from their core customer. Bad comments, bad timing. The rest, as you know, is history. Remember, Alyssa?
I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. What does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. We had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor and...
Oh, girl. Oh, wow. So your answer is to tick off the frat boys in hopes of bringing in, I don't know. I mean, who are you going to bring in? We were talking about this earlier. Like, it's not going to play with Hispanics. It's not going to play with the black community. We're talking about Joe Biden, right? Federal court just out today saying that his executive order on Title IX that would allow money to go to students that were born as men, now in athletics as women, it's not going to fly. Like, it's not allowed. They said that this is not going to happen, right? So this is an issue, and most of America is not really on the side of Leah Thomas. Let me just say, okay? Nor is, by the way, the rest of the world, because the Olympics just told Leah, no can do. You're not going to be racing in Paris this summer. You can have your own lane for that, all right? And I think that most Americans would say, okay, we're pretty nice people, and we're not going to hold it against you necessarily. You can have your own lane, but guess what? You can't compete against the naturally born females. And that's not wild thinking, okay? Like, let me remind you, it's not. It's very normal. And so when I look at this marketing executive, I guess she'd just been drinking the woke Kool-Aid at Harvard for so long, because what was she thinking? Really and truly, what was she thinking? Does anybody know? You're going to alienate your base audience there. All those frat boys, the ones that brought you to the party, right? We don't like them anymore. We're going to go with Dylan and everybody who likes Dylan, except that who really likes Dylan and likes beer? I think that's tricky. I think it's a tricky territory. I mean, maybe the suburban women. You got me. I think it's a very narrow audience, and they were casting a very narrow net, and they are still paying the price. Taking a look at the stock price once again, this thing is just hammered. You know, this is the problem with wokeism. It gets in the way of free market capitalism, and it gets in the way of all of you making money. It's one of the reasons why Rob and I started 76 Research. My dear longtime friend, Rob Horton, if you don't know him, you got to go over to 76 Research and check him out, because he's a stock picker on Wall Street for many, many years, and a friend of mine for many, many years. And we'd say to each other, like, this is kind of crazy. Like, look at what's going on. I mean, it was 2020 and oil was trading at like $20. And he's like, I can't, you couldn't even buy oil stocks because of all the rules and regulations surrounding ESG as a stock picker. I mean, this is getting a little weird, right? So we had talked about it in depth, and my biggest goal has been to find a way to get you guys the information that you need, the information that you can execute on to make better decisions about your financial future, and not to get the whiplash that you get in the markets, right? Because I've been there, done that, and been on the front lines of every major market crisis over the last couple decades. And I know how that gets played. And I know how there's this sort of like fear factor that goes into stuff. You know, when the market's tanking, you put on all your bears. And when the market's going up, you put on all your bulls. But the thing is, you got to be able to see through all that to the other side and know what's coming. And this is what he and I together do really, really well at 76 Research. So each of the model portfolios has 10 to 15 stock picks. The 76 report, actually, we just revamped it. So you're going to get a lot. You're going to get like a lot of reporting out of 76 report. Originally, it was just a really big thing to read a couple times a month. And you'll still get big things to read, but the goal is to get you more and more and more actionable information on a daily basis. So go check out 76research.com, sign up for the 76 report. I mean, this is like, it's like $2 a week, guys. I mean, it's truly some of the best money that you'll ever spend. And I would also just say, go over to 76 Research, at 76 Research on YouTube. Actually, we're going to be there either later today or perhaps tomorrow with a live show. So when you go there, make sure you hit the bell. So again, you know when we are live. So if you have questions, investing questions, for example, we'll try and answer them to the best of our ability. Of course, we're financial advisors. You have people for that, but we do have a wealth of information that hopefully you can read through and act accordingly on, right? This is research that is very grounded in basics and a lot of intricacies as well. So it's really, I mean, it's just a superb product. So I'm very proud of it and enjoy working with Rob on this and want you to have the opportunity to meet him. So go to at 76 Research. That's the handle on YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel, that you hit the bell, and that you get this research, that you get this report, because it will be worth your while. I haven't even had my party yet, Drew. I mean, we got to 300,000, guys. I mean, it was amazing. On Friday, I was like, oh my gosh, we are so close. We are so close. We are so close. What do you know? I mean, actually, it was Saturday. It was Saturday I got the news. We were driving up to New Hampshire, and I was in the car. I posted a picture because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We finally hit 300,000. I'll tell you, they made those last 15 subs really tough, really, really tough. So that was just outstanding to see. So thank you for doing that. And if you're just joining us, make sure you do subscribe and you hit the bell. You will know when I'm here.